Going to get everything kind of going here. Happy Oz release day. Get my tablet here kind of situated. Not sure why my volume's working because I turned everything off. All right. Hope everyone's having a great day and has been able to check out the Oz release. Just getting my tablet situated here. I just need to make sure I can pull it up and see what we're doing. All right, there we go. All right, I have on my screen here, this is the cards that I made last night with Jessica live for a quick sneaky peek. And these featured the emerald. We both featured the emerald stencil. That's the stencil of the month, but you can buy it now too. So anyway, I am going to go ahead and get started. Let me know if you're here. And I have kind of a different idea here. I was going to make an easel card, but I thought maybe I would start with just going ahead and making my card up. So I have just a card panel here. I am going to go sideways. Let's see, actually, we want to start. Let's make sure I have more than one card panel available here. Okay, I'm not going to do that first. Okay, so what the first thing I did is I went through my stash and I pulled a bunch of strips. I'm looking for my red here. Here it is. And I just cut them out with a die because I'm going to make a rainbow using these. I want this to be a border on my card, and I thought this would be a fun way to do that. You could just cut strips with your paper trimmer. I have a die that I just had in my stash that is older that I used. So all I'm going to do here quick is grab my glue or my tape runner here, and I'm just going to go ahead and put a bunch of tape down. I could use liquid glue, but I just thought it'd be easier to do a bunch of that. And we're going to go ahead, and I just have one for each color. Rainbows is one of the things that I think is iconic to the movie because of the song, of course. I hope everyone's, like I said, if you've gotten your favorites, checked it out. It's one of my favorite releases we've ever had. I love it, and I have had so much fun playing with it. I sent a couple of samples into the store when I had them ready, but I finished the rest of them over the weekend, so I haven't had a chance to mail them in, red, orange, yellow. So I'm going to go ahead and share those with us a little bit later. So just lining them up as close as I can to each other. And just using, you know, it doesn't matter if it's straight on the paper because it just needs to be straight with the each other. Sorry, lost my train of thought there. It has been super hot here, and too early already. It's almost 90 again today. And so my brain is not working as well because I am not as good in the winter or in the summer. So a little bit of a brain fog going on. All right, so we've got that. And it's okay if it's a little short because we're just going to cut this down anyway. I have another one already done, but I thought I'd get one done quick on camera. I did do my stamping and coloring ahead of time, but I am going to stamp out and show you how I stamped out my images. Okay, so there we've got our rainbow. And then I already have one trimmed, so I'm just going to go ahead and use this one and put this one off to the side because I have some extra tape and stuff I have to clean that up. And then what I'm going to do is grab my shimmer. Nope, that's not the right thing. I want my Pearl Shimmer Mist. I'm going to shake it up off camera just because I need to make sure, you know, all the shimmer gets in there. There's still a little on the bottom, but And we're just going to add a little bit to our mat here, and I am going to water it down. You could also use the Pearl Aqua pigment. You could use the Gilded Aqua pigment. There's all sorts of different, you just want something with a little bit of the shimmer in it. Some of the shimmer spray, or the Chromo Mists, this is just the shimmer spray, but I'm just going to I want it to be quite translucent. I think that's the correct word. And I'm going to put a little more water in there because I don't want to cover up a lot of the color. I just want to make it shimmery. This is going to be the shine on our card. And then we'll set this aside to dry a little bit while we work on the rest of it. All right. Wipe that up. I'm going to go ahead and put this in some water just to kind of clean it up. That's all you really need to clean it. And we'll let that dry. Okay, next we are going to stamp out the images, and I want to show you how I did them because I did not stamp full images because we don't need the whole image. I chose to use There's No Place Like Home. I love this set, and you can tell I've already stamped it out a bunch of times. It's well loved. And I am grabbing some, sorry, it's behind me. This is alcohol blend paper. I'm going to go ahead and just trim it. I've already cut out some of the other images for other projects. Just leftover pieces. I just stick them back in the container. One thing I will tell you that I like to do is leave my images in my MISTI and stamp them otherwise. Now I did cut down my lion a little bit more than I wanted to, than I realized. So I am just kind of putting in, I want the jacket to the, of that, I want just to the waist of the Tin Man. And then I just wanted the mane, and then I realized I should have cut out a little bit of his body. But that's all I need for what I am, because they're going to be sticking out of our rainbow. And so we don't need the whole thing. So I can save paper that way too. I love the alcohol blend marker paper for all my alcohol paper coloring needs. I use Olo markers that I've had them now for a few months, and that's pretty much what I try to color with. I do use Spectrum Noir Tri-Blends. I think Spectrum Tri-Blends a little bit here and there, but I love the Olos. And I colored all of my markers, all of my images with Olos tonight. So I'm just going to go ahead. If I don't get a huge detailed stamping down, it's okay. I just need the basic outlines to color, because then I color my images and then I line it right back up in my MISTI, and I stamp over them one more time, and that gives them that nice crisp finish over the top of them. It can be nerve-wracking because, you know, if you don't line it up right and you spend all that time coloring. So I always make sure I have a corner, and then I do want to just make sure I have the outlines of the images in here. Okay. Oh, see, I moved that one, but that's all right. These are extras. So that one I won't be able to use. I'd have to restamp it. So that's all we needed. And then I went ahead and colored them. I will show you what they look like. I did stamp out Dorothy and Toto in full. Let's put those off to the side. And I will get them out. So here is what they look like. I fussy cut them out right on the edge. So here you can see I just needed the top. And yeah, I did cut off a little bit of the hay off of him. I thought that was okay. And then I have just the bottom part of the Tin Man. And then, like I said, I should have cut a little bit of his body, but I didn't. So I'm going to have to improvise a little bit with that. But I think I know what I can do just to kind of give us the look of the... So we've got our guy. So what we're going to do to fix this guy is I'm going to quick cut out a circle. I'm going to grab a circle. The foundation dies is what I've got. And I'm going to measure one up with his body just to see, because we just need a little bit to show. And I'm just going to go ahead and cup it on this side. A little bit of his, so he doesn't look like he's just a floating head, because he's not the wizard, so he doesn't have a floating head. He's the lion. Okay. I got that done, and then we're just going to grab our markers here quick, and I will show you how I colored. I will say, for me, coloring with the Olo markers, I find it best to color light to dark. I don't know if I have the exact marker combo here. I did a couple different markers, but I want it to be his body. So we're just going to kind of color it in a little bit and go from there, and it will match. Doesn't matter if it's perfect, because we're just going to see a part of it. So I'm just going to color down part of it. Give it a little bit of shaving. I apologize if you hear my dog outside. There's a neighbor dog. My neighbor has a dog over. And he is, see, so we're just going to have a little bit of his body showing here a little bit. So just so we get that idea. And then what I think we'll do is we'll make it work, because I didn't stamp the whole thing out. Here, I'm gonna grab a black marker, and any black marker works, and I'm just gonna edge it. We're barely gonna see this because we're gonna tuck him in, so. But then he has the same kind of look. So this is a way you can fix so you don't have to start over. All right, so now I have some of my other images done and colored, but I don't want to share them quite yet because I'm kind of waiting for it to be, you know, the reveal part of that. So I have just a card base here. I'm going to go ahead and use a white card base. I wanted to line this up. These were some scraps. I didn't know if I had enough, and I think I have just enough that I'm going to use this, because we're going to cover up the middle. I thought reminds me of the Emerald City. I'm not sure if there's a specific up or down. And then this obviously reminds me of the tornado. So we have the Kansas side, and we have the Emerald City side. So we're going to go ahead and attach those right here to our base. And I thought, instead of cutting down, because I love this paper, instead of cutting it down, I thought I would just use some scraps and try to get them to work first. So no waste. Oh, and of course my glue tape just ran out, so we're going to switch to liquid glue for the rest of the night. That's fine. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and just stick them right up along the edge. I'm going to use the more black and white edge on this side. And put the Emerald City up on top. I'm actually going to flip it to this side, because there's a little bit from I didn't clean that off as well. That's right from the edge of the paper. You know, the glue residue that can sometimes stick, and I didn't clean that off, so not going to see it. So we've got that. And then I am going to trim it quick, so that if I have to trim it again, there's not so much for I've already got it kind of better lined up. Okay, so now here's what I thought would be fun. So there's kind of 3 parts to the movie, right? The beginning, Dorothy's in Kansas. And then she goes into the tornado and goes into Oz. And then she goes back and tells everyone about her visit. I thought that would be a fun card to make. So I have my Dorothy and my Toto, which would be black. They're in black and white, because at the beginning and at the end, they're in black and white, correct? So I thought this would be a fun way to do my story. And because to have them look, she really can't. I mean, she could do it this way, I guess. But I know I could have turned it this way and made it work, but then they would have been over here, and I guess I decided I'm gonna just replay the end of the movie. So I went through my stash and I found a rectangle die and another little label die that's old. Anything kind of works. Just something that reminded me of a pillow. I'm going to make this into a bed. Because at the end of the movie, remember Dorothy's laying on the bed and she comes back and then she tells this, you know, the hands that they were there and they were there and all that stuff. So I thought this would be fun, and I wanted it all in black and white. So we're going to put Dorothy on her little bed here. Yep, she's carrying her basket. She's got her shoes on because she just came back from Oz. She's just waking up. And Toto's down here at the foot of the bed, you know, watching her. I don't want to hide him like behind the bed or anything, so we're just going to put him down right here. I'm going to go ahead and put him in right away. I'm going to have him lean in just a little bit. And then we need our rainbow. We got our rainbow bridge right here, which is a little short, which is fine. That's why we haven't put Dorothy on the bed yet. Actually, we got to move Toto over just a hair so we have a little more space, because we are going to have to cut it down just a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and attach our guys. And then we need a sentiment. This might be a little quicker card than I thought, but we are going to go over the rest of the projects I made. So, all right, so I've got the Tin Man, we've got the Scarecrow, and then we've got the Cowardly Lion. Like I said, I think we're going to put the Cowardly Lion in the middle, and I'm just going to we're going to cut some of this off. It's just to kind of represent his body. We're going to stick this way down. Way down. We'll probably put that, I'll put it right up in there, because it's just going to be kind of his head here. That will work. We need to get my Tin Man, and so when I cut this off, obviously you can see his leg, but this is going to be covered, so you're not going to see that. So I'm going to bring that down a little bit so he's not sticking out too much, and I'm going to bring him down a little bit. One thing I thought was really fun is that I wanted to add little bits of red. So a couple of my cards, I added red to all the characters, so they all were tied into those ruby slippers. So we're going to add this. Still got to get our sentiment, but I know we're going to go ahead and pull another piece from the release. I'm going to put him down. So we got him looking this way, and I like that they're like this, because then they can kind of look at each other. And we're putting him down so his hat at the top. All right, push those down really well. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and put the rainbow on first. And we could pop this up with some foam tape or put a couple layers behind, but I think we're just going to go ahead and do it. Make sure, sorry, I got off screen a little bit here. Just going to center it as best we can, because we're going to cut it down a little bit. Cover him up. Oh, we don't want to cover up Toto's ears too much. Okay. So we've got that. And then we've got our little lion's head. We're going to just go ahead and we're going to let him kind of peek up over the edge. His mane is kind of peeking up over the edge. I'm going to go ahead and stick this on here for a little bit. And then we got to get Dorothy's bed on here, and then we'll work on a sentiment. And I actually have half of a card almost completely finished, but it's not all the way finished. It needs a sentiment, and so we might finish that one up too. You can see, obviously, I have pieces cut and ready to go. I liked the idea of possibly using the Dorothy and the Toto and then having them look up, but the scale isn't 100% right. because Dorothy would have been closest to us, so she should have been bigger and they would have been smaller. So I thought this would be a better way of using that. All right. All right, we got that. And then go ahead and cut this down. I'm just going to trim it to the edge of my rainbow on both sides. Oops, I pulled off a little bit of the red. I'm going to stick that down a little bit more. Of course, now I hear my puppy, he wants to come in by mommy. That's all right. And then we are going to trim just a hair off the bottom. It's going through 2 layers of cardstock, so this trimmer, this is the Tim Holtz trimmer. It does trim wonderfully, but it does take a little bit extra, and then just a hair off the top, which make this just a little bit longer than 4. There we go. That's all right, Shannon. It's not a problem. I was like thinking to myself, was I supposed to be, you know, time changes and stuff. So we're getting, Dorothy's laying in bed watching her Friends. So Dorothy's all black and white because she just woke up from coming back from Oz. Hi, Darren. I understand Tom and I usually are eating dinner at this time, and I told him we'll just eat right afterwards. So, and it's also too hot to cook. So we've got our little guys up in Oz, up in the Emerald City, and Dorothy's waking up to remember that she was up in Oz and she met these guys. We've got our sparkly rainbow. Now we need a sentiment. And I thought what we would do for a sentiment is take a page from Shannon's card earlier tonight. And I'm going to use There Is No Place Like Home, which I haven't used that. Thank you, Shannon. I was trying to do it a little bit differently, but then I changed my mind and I made the bed out of a rectangle die and then just another little shaped die I found in my stash. I thought it'd be really fun. I remember what Christopher was working on. He's doing his fairy portal card, and it reminded me of doing this. So we're going to go ahead and use this. I don't know if we're going to use the shadow. We'll see, but we're going to use There's No Place Like Home. I think we might just put it right here on top. And but we'll cut that out of white. I'm just going to go ahead and use some of the alcohol blend paper I have here. I'm going to trim it down just a hint. I have another card that's mostly finished, and then when I realized I was doing it for one of our projects, then I realized I didn't follow the rules and do what I was supposed to do, so it's an extra project. So we're going to finish that one tonight too. I didn't mean follow the rules. I was supposed to color them differently or use different products, and I grabbed the wrong items. I had a bunch ready, and I thought, oh, well, we have an extra project, so that'll be fun. So go ahead and cut this out. We're going to make shimmer on this too, so that it's shimmery as well. But I don't know if I'm going to use the shadow layer. I'm thinking about it. We'll see what it looks like once we get them on. All right. There's no place like home. I'm going to go ahead and pop them all out quick. And just use a little jewel pickle here. Does it start turning hot down by you guys, Shannon? It is warm. And today was my Friday. I actually am not working tomorrow. My boss hosts, my company hosts a golf tournament tomorrow. So I get to sit at one of the holes, I think it's hole number 3, and watch and be the witness in case somebody gets a hole-in-one and win a prize. So that'll be fun. Rain, we need rain here so bad. It's very dry. We haven't had rain. I can't tell you the last time we had rain. We got a lot of rain the last time we had rain, but we haven't mowed our lawn in almost a week, and usually this time of year we're mowing at least every 4 days. That's not good. No, flood warnings aren't good. I mean, the river is still a little high, the Mississippi is, but it's just hot, humid, and like I said, we haven't mowed the grass since last week, and that's so unusual for us. You know, we're not mowing it quite twice a week, but I think I like it without the shadow behind it. I don't think we need the shadow. I think it pops up off that just enough that we don't need the shadow. I think it would cover up too much of the rainbow. So what I'm gonna do is find a little tweezer thingy, and I'm gonna go ahead and grab some glue. I'm gonna grab a glue that's kind of doesn't come out. I want to come out as daintily, and I'm just gonna put a big pile of it right here. And I'm gonna go ahead. I am not a straight line person as much. I think we have the lines here, so my head might get in the way. But I'm gonna go ahead, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words. So we're gonna start with place, because that should be in the middle then. And we're gonna go ahead and dab it a little bit in each, just to get a little. I'm gonna go ahead, and this is water, will wash off. So I'm just gonna go ahead and wipe it off. And I'm gonna go ahead and try my best to use the green to make it as straight as we can. All right, and then we'll do the like. There's no place like. Sorry, I got quiet. I was concentrating. I'm glad I'll be off a little early tomorrow, and so I'll just get to come home and relax, watch a movie, and then I'm excited to play a little bit more with this release on all day Saturday. Well, I'm gonna do a little garage sailing on Saturday and a graduation, but I am gonna play with it a bunch more because there's stuff I haven't used yet. I haven't been able to use the flying monkeys, and I think they'd be fun to put together. And I want to play with the small stamps and do something with those. That's one of my favorite things to do with with the different bigger sets, is try to use the small sets. Okay, so the T is gonna be up a little bit higher, but it's also up high on the H. So we've got the there's no place like home, and anyhow, it's not quite, it's over at the left a little bit, but that's fine. It's not. It's just homemade, right? All right, get a little bit of that glue picked up. Hi, Robin. You really do live in Kansas. That's awesome. Well, we are partly in Kansas tonight. Dorothy is in Kansas, sleeping or just waking up from her trip to Oz. I'm going to go ahead and grab a little bit more of that shimmer mist, the pearl, because I do want my letters to be kind of shimmery. Oops. My bottle's getting a little low. I might have to get my spare out here soon. I'm going to water that down again. Might even just do a little bit of sparkles. The paintbrush I used, just watering it down because I want it to be a little bit more shiny, not quite as white and pearly. I want it to be more sparkly. And I'm just going to go ahead and brush in all the letters again, being very careful not to get the mane of our cowardly lion. My puppy came in and he's like been good. He's like, Mommy's here, but I don't have to bark. She's got the door open if I need to go see her. It's awfully hot out and he does not like the heat. Okay, so we've got that. There's no place like home. So we do kind of have nothing really here in the corner. We could probably add some things. Maybe I'll add a few gems. You know, actually the ruby slippers would be kind of fun to add there, but I do not want to add any color at the bottom there. So we're just going to add a few black gems, I think. And then we'll quickly move on to finish the card that I have partially done. It needs kind of a sentiment and a finishing. I'm going to go ahead and grab these. These are just from the, they're a little sparkly, from the Gems Jewels Button Glow Mix, Jewels Mix. I'll just add a few. We'll put 3 there, and I'll put like maybe 2 up here. Thank you. I've been dying to try this card. I was hoping it would work out the way I kind of envisioned it. I had originally thought about trying to put it on the easel card, but I didn't think my concept would work quite as well. So I'll have to play with that a little bit. But I do have an easel card to show you. Alright, I do not have enough glue there. Oh, I don't have enough glue on that one. Doesn't always stick. And then I need a small one for here. Alright, there we go. Awesome. So it needs to be put on a base. Thanks, Robin. I really enjoyed making this. I've had every card I make, I get a better idea of what I want to do and change and make, and so I've had a lot of fun. And then I've seen some of the cards the design team has made. I think I've seen most of them. I've been trying to look to see what people have done so I can do something different or get some inspiration. But we've got this card. I think what I'm going to do is quickly share. Here's the 2 cards I made last night in the live using the emerald stencil and some glitter glaze. And these need to be on a card base yet. But I thought maybe I'd share. I didn't get all of my, but when I mailed in my projects, I didn't have all my cards done yet because I had a bunch of the Safari release and things. Thank you, Shannon. So I thought maybe I would share. Shannon has seen some of these, but and they'll be seeing these on social media, but I didn't get them all in, so Christopher told me to share some of them tonight. So I have this one, and this one I used just an embossing folder with some chroma glaze and shimmer mist. And then this is just an old embossing folder to make it look like bricks. And then I just added some paper and some of the images from the Best Friends. What's it called again? Best of Friends. I have this one. I think is super fun. This is using the paper pack, but this is using the front of the paper pack. I just cut off the band at the bottom, you know, the top where it says Brutus Monroe. And because I loved all the paper and I thought it would be fun to follow your dreams. I've got all the heart, the courage, the shoes for home, and the brain. And then it's got all of the iconic paperwork there on it. And I'm going to try to get these in the mail. So here's the paper pad. And I think, Shannon, somebody did this once some other time when I was on the team and for another paper pad, and I thought it was really fun. So yeah, so here's the top. So I just cut it down and I made it perfect. And then I didn't have to cut all those little pieces. Because otherwise, by the time I'm done, you know, I'm just going to have this left. And I've been storing my paper in these pouches because I have lots of little pieces. Obviously, I've been using that. And then this was the last one I just finished creating. I used the paw print stencil with Raven glitter glaze, but I used aqua pigments to paint Toto, and I used I used chroma mists, but I used the purple and the red, and I mixed a whole bunch of them together to make the black before I painted Toto. And I did all those same colors. You can see, like, here's the purple, there's some yellow, some green, some there's all sorts of the colors. The ink smush is what I did to make, and then I added some of the shimmer spritz to make the black background too. And then my last card that I made that will be coming up is this one, and this is all painted with aqua pigments. And then I used aqua pigments to make the rainbow. I just used a red, a yellow, and the blue to make the rainbow. And then I added some glitter glaze with the Fairy Path stencil, so that, you know, because I feel like rainbows go hand in hand with the Wizard of Oz. So those are some of my projects that I created for the release. They'll be being shared on social media, and I will be sending them into the store. But I thought maybe what I'd do quick here, because we've still got a few minutes, is I'm going to finish this card. This is an easel card that I started. You can see it's a little damp here. That was kind of where this one started, and it didn't. So here is my card. I think this is so fun. I figured what the process is obviously they are going to the Emerald City, and they are going through the poppy field on the yellow brick road. So I used the poppy field and I just cut it down in a square. This is the easel die. Thanks, Shannon. And then I just went through my stash and found some border dies that were just shaped to cut out the pattern paper at an angle. And then I put it in and I just made a quick background so that it looked like the sky versus the poppies. And then, so this is gonna go and it's gonna sit like this. But it's not quite finished. I didn't put a sentiment in here yet. So I thought that's what I would finish with, that was putting a sentiment in. And the sentiment we're going to do quick from one of the stamp sets, and then that will be the buffer so we can put it down on here. I do have the poppy dies coming to me, but I probably will mail this in. Otherwise the poppy dies would be very fun to put right here as the base to hold it. But I thought, which was my... let me see quick. I want to double check what stamp, which one I wanted to use. I apologize here. I'm going to go ahead and use the Follow Your Yellow Brick Road. That is from the There's No Place Like Home stamp set. Just got another piece of aqua pigment paper. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to change my mind. I have a leftover piece from that one card that is the Bumblebee Chroma Mist and Shimmer Spray. We're going to use that. I'm going to go ahead and stick this in. Trying to see. I feel like... Oh, part of my back of my Misty's falling off. Okay. So I'm going to stick that stamp down somewhere here. We're going to go ahead and... because then we have a pop of color on the inside. Yeah, I'm going to have to fix that. Okay. So, got this up in the corner good. Get my Raven ink out. And this says, this is the Elegant Easel. Elegant Easel, I believe is the stamp. The die set. And that's just the base. This is just a rectangle. I cut it down with my paper. I didn't use any dye because that shows that you can use anything. You don't have to use the dies that came with it to transform your easel die. You can do any shape on the top. And I thought it would be fun to just do, like I said, the poppy field. The poppies is my favorite pattern paper. I would want to hoard a vat of that paper and just, I want some 12 by 12 sheets of that paper. And then do something to make a scrapbook layout so I can look at that paper for the rest of my life because I think it's beautiful. Okay, so we got Follow Your Yellow Brick Road. I think I'm just going to go ahead and cut it out, use my trimmer to cut it. I don't think I'm going to fussy cut it because I'm not the best with sentiment fussy cutting. And I just line it up at the bottom of my plastic piece. And then that kind of gives me the run around to make sure that all of my images. You could use one of the conversation clippings in the black, but I thought this would be a fun pop of color in there. Okay, Follow Your Yellow Brick Road. And of course, being the paper person that I am, I will save these small pieces. This one I will throw away because you could always cut out stars from that. And we're just going to go ahead and I want to decide how far up do I want my easel to be. I'm going to put it right in the center. And what I'm going to do is actually use just some white scrap paper here to build up just the extra little layer behind it. I don't want it super thick because it's on the inside of the card, but I want a little bit of dimension just so that it helps hold it in place. I'm just going to put a piece on and we'll see if that's enough. I think it will be. So we're going to go ahead and put that down. So you can see, and you know, you could cover that up with a white piece of paper. I may do that. We can do that here quick, just so that you don't see the back of that if it was wide open. See if I can get this as straight as I can. I think we need to move it down just a hair. Another fun thing would be to do is, I think, and I might just do that quick, is go ahead and grab the shoes. And I'm going to go wild here, and we're going to just stamp them. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp them with bee sting ink. I don't care if they're super, super, but I think to make kind of like a ruby slipper, I'm going to go ahead and stamp them down right here and hope that works. Otherwise I can always cut them out. Oh, I didn't push it down. So I'll have to stamp them out and cut them out, and that's fine. And we'll pop them up. All right. I don't think I got ink on there. Happy accidents, right? All right. Stick those down. Quick, grab my scissors. And we will quick cut those out. Hope you guys have been enjoying the lives today. Gina is live yet tonight after me. So you have to stay tuned. I'm going to try to catch her while I'm eating dinner. I'm just having a... Shannon, you were talking about being too tired to cook. It's too hot to cook, so we're having hot dogs, which is actually one of my favorite meals. It's not my absolute favorite meal. My favorite meal is hamburgers, but we're going to have hot dogs tonight with nice fresh onion on top, and I think that will be nice and just good. I'm just ready for the weekend. And I have to tell you guys, the staff at the store is amazing. I placed my order for an inspiration box last night about 11, well, yeah, 11, so 10 my time, 10:08. Like right away, I knew because I was getting ready. I was watching the clock, and as soon as I saw it go live, because my mom ordered one for my sister, and I placed the order for her and had it shipped to her. And since Mom doesn't have an account, because she has some scrapbooking and card making stuff, but we kind of share, and it's already shipped. It shipped this morning already. I can't believe that. So I got the notification that it was shipping before I even left for work this morning. I was just like, geez Louise, you guys are amazing. So, hot dogs are my favorite, or my second favorite. Like I said, I love hamburgers, but hot dogs, there, see? You didn't even notice the difference there. So we've got that down. I might need a little extra glue in here, just because I missed a spot. And then we've got our little easel card that goes like that. Follow your yellow brick road. I'm gonna go ahead and put a thing on there, and then we're gonna get a piece to put on that. Just a piece of white cardstock. I'm pretty sure I just cut this down. I think it's 4 by 5 1/4, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut that at 4 and 5 1/4. And we'll see if I did that, if I remember if I did that piece right. Yep. So just to keep it kind of cleaned up, we're just going to put that piece on to clean it up on the inside, which gives it a little bit more sturdiness too. Oh, I gotta make sure we use that side. It's kind of, must have got something on there. I must have something on my fingers. If you haven't had a chance, Christopher was live today, Heather was live today, then Jess was live today, and Shannon was live today. And then, like I said, Gina's live tonight, so you can go back and watch the replays. I've watched most of them. I was at work, so I have to catch some of the replays. I watched them here and there, and then when I had to, you know, mute it or turn it off to go do some work. So I watched 90% of them. All right. So I do need a little bit more glue right on this corner too, and that's just because of that extra piece I put underneath. There we go. Oh, you know what? I did not, that was not right. See, learn from me. I just made a mistake. That will not work. So, because it's an easel card, I can't glue that together. That is my fault. So we're going to go ahead and, I'm glad I did that, because you cannot do that. I'm going to go ahead and put this piece down. And then I'm going to go ahead and trim it. I should probably use my trimmer. So that it can go up. And then you don't see that white. And of course, that is my fault. That's a good thing we learned that though. And then I'm going to go ahead and just trim this piece down. I mean, I already trimmed this piece down. I'm going to reattach this piece since I already attached it. And I tore it a little bit about to right here. Just to kind of clean it up, like I said. So learn from my mistake. Do not put a full panel on because it cannot. It needs to be able to move. I should have known that. All right, there we go. That card was mostly finished. I did color them with Olo markers. I think I said that before. I just want to make sure. I'm going to call it an evening tonight, a little early. I hope you enjoyed the couple cards, the one I finished up, the one I made tonight, and I hope you've had a chance to go over to the store, get your hands on your favorite Oz items. Some of them are limited edition, the embossing powder and the aqua pigments. So, you know, when they're gone, they'll be gone. So make sure, for sure, I don't know what other ones are for sure. So, but make sure you pop over to the store and get your hands on the items that you want. Get them all, because, you know, they're amazing. They all coordinate so well together. As you can see, I used the pattern paper for both of them. I used the two stamps to go with this one. I used this die of the month with the pattern paper, and then the inspiration box on this one. So you can use all sorts of things. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you very much. Oops, it's fallen down, and that's okay. So we got this easel card. I appreciate you joining me tonight or watching me on replay. And I want you guys to have a great evening. Don't forget, Gina is going to be live at the hour, I believe, at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. So check her out and have a great evening. And I will see you next Wednesday. Have a great rest of your week, you guys. Bye.